Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. Mr. Hutchinson, on the rooftops of Hargrave House, you see a glint of light and turn to find Tati Brathwaite on a nearby rooftop, pointing a long rifle in your direction.
This fucking girl. She's got me in her sights. How nearby is this rooftop? Could I make the jump?
I don't think you could make the jump. The parcels of land here are quite large.
Sure.
So even with your supernatural gifts, I don't imagine it would be possible unless you can secretly fly, and I don't know it. But she is on the same side of Belgrave Square as you. Actually, for the last several months now, this house has been unoccupied.
I have bigger fish to fry. So that's going to be added to the list of shit we have to deal with that we don't have time for, and Hutchinson is going to head back downstairs.
Okay, I feel like this has to be a night move in order to not get shot by Tati Brathwaite.
Fuck! Okay.
What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I'm afraid that she will take me out, leisurely make her way to the rooftop, and see the map of Hargrave House on my hand and bring it back to her mom.
Mr. Hutchinson, it's worse than that.
Yeah, it always has to be.
She will shoot you, but not kill you. She is bringing you back to Theodora Brathwaite because Theodora Brathwaite wants to talk to you.
Because here's the thing is I kind of want to talk to Theodora Brathwaite as well.
Here's when I say that when I've called for a night move and we have established the stakes, you are allowed to back down. In this case, don't leave the rooftop should you choose to.
And do get shot?
Yeah.
You know what? This could actually provide good intel. This seems bonkers, but I am going to let this girl shoot me so I can talk to her mom.
Well, out of character, you make that decision. In character, I believe Tati Brathwaite is just a bit too quick for you. And she fires not a bullet, a tranquilizer. And you slump unconscious on the rooftop of Hargrave House. Miss Douglas, where is your day taking you now that you have enlisted the help of Greco, the Dream Sovereign?
Maisie makes her way back to her room and sees something that she hasn't thought about in a very long time. The key that she acquired to Mr. Higgins' cobbler shop.
Yes, and you know Mr. Higgins to be one of the servants of Theodora Brathwaite.
Exactly. So, I think I'm going to go back there and snoop around.
Do some skullduggery. I love it. I don't think it's hard for you to find that cobbler shop yet again, considering your escape from it the last time. This humble shop is bustling with activity, but not from patrons. It's once again that large group of men all dressed in black, Mr. Higgins' fixers, who are loitering outside, moving in and out of the shop, talking amongst themselves. If you plan to do this stealthily, it's going to take a little work.
For sure. I assume I would have seen the fixers before today.
Oh, yeah. You probably spied them as you were making your escape last time, out the back door.
Then before I leave Hargrave House, I would have liked to have changed into just all black, just to look, at least appear to fit into this space.
I love this.
She's still very slight and small and presumably a woman, so not the best disguise. But at least enough that just a quick glance, someone might just go right over her and keep moving.
Yeah, gonna think you're a boy, like a very young member of this gang.
A young fixer.
All right, so disguised, you make your way towards Mr. Higgins' cobbler shop.
Yes, I would love to sneak into the shop and just start looking around Higgins' office for any notes from Theodora, anything that seems like a plan of action for this group of people specifically.
All right, I think it's going to be a day move just to get in here.
For sure. I'll use the key to assist with that.
What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
Well, absolutely. So many people will know that I do not belong here. And last time it was just me and Mr. Higgins, and this time it would be me and so many more men. I don't think I'd be getting out of this one.
All right, those are the stakes. This is a day move with composure.
It most definitely is not. That's a 4.
All right, so on a fail, your disguise will be found out by the Black Laces. And you will find yourself in the cobbler shop, but not in an investigative situation.
Yeah, I'm not going to use a mask to bump this, so I'm going to fail.
All right. Miss Douglas, you do your best to try to blend into this group of thieves and killers when you bump into a very tall, broad-shouldered man. Watch where you're going, boy. Wait. Fellas, it's her.
Fuck.
The one who escaped the shop before. And then you are set upon by several pairs of hands that are dragging you into the shop of Mr. Higgins and slamming the door. Mr. Lloyd, leaving the River Thames, where does the rest of the day take you?
Rabbit will take some shortcuts back through the hedge, back to Hargrave House, because he has one more person to ask for help, and it's a very important person, but it's someone that in order to do so, he needs to perform a ritual first, so that he can talk with the very spirit of Hargrave House itself.
Oh, Robert, you're getting into the deep, deep lore. So this is certainly going to be a rite of salt and smoke. So what does this ritual look like?
Well, we've seen Rabbit do sort of summoning rituals before, and this one isn't that different. He finds a spot somewhere in Hargrave House, probably in the basement or some other room deep within the house itself. He sits down. He does not make a circle around himself. He's not trying to contain his magic. He wants it to reach out to the space around him. He does, however, use his charcoal to draw symbols on the ground around him. Symbols for speech, symbols for understanding. And then, taking a blade, he cuts his own palm, squeezes it into the heart of it, and attempts to awaken Hargrave House.
Please roll rites of salt and smoke.
And that blade that he used was Roger the Reaver's scalpel, which he picked out of Hargrave House itself. So I will be doing this with advantage.
All right, go ahead and roll.
All right. That is a 9 on the dice, so with my +3 in sensitivity, that is a 12.
What is your effect?
I think it's simply to communicate with someone or something that you do not share a language with. In this case, it is the genus Loki, the spirit of Hargrave House.
Miss De Niro, what about you? Shaken from your encounter with the ocean.
Having slammed this door with such force, I think it is closed, but it splinters ever so slightly. And so there are some long wooden shards on the ground. Ina looks at these, gets an idea, and picks a few of them up and stuffs them in her belt. And prior to walking around Hargrave House and doing her initial strategic assessment, she had sent off some owls to summon some of her worshipers to her. Specifically, our good lady Charlotte from Kilburn Abbey, and the person she's had essentially tailing Theodora and her group for information, former Inspector Detective Pettigrew.
Oh, fabulous. Sister Charlotte McGowan enters the foyer of Hargrave House. Detective Inspector Pettigrew lingers nervously on the threshold. I'm afraid you have to ask me in, madam.
Oh, I won't be doing that. Why don't you go to the back garden? Wait for me there.
Yes, mistress.
And she turns to Charlotte, and in her hands is the set of antlers that she took as a prize from the resolution of the coven, and she places them in Charlotte's hands. I would like you to take these as a gift to Mistress Beaumont. She will appreciate what it took to get them and what they mean. I would like for you to ask her for some armor to clothe my compatriots and protect us from what is to come. And if she has any insight into how we might stop the force coming for us, I would appreciate if you would ask that information of her as well.
Of course, mistress. Is there anything else I might do to better serve you?
Only this. And do not come back to this place without what I have asked for.
She bows and leaves. Miss Thanero, please remove the antlers from your personal quarters. Now, what of Mr. Pettigrew in the garden?
Ina closes the front door of Hargrave House and slowly makes her way toward the back entrance to the garden. As she walks out, she pulls out one of the wooden splinters, essentially a stake, from her belt and starts to just flip it in her hands as she walks toward him.
Detective Inspector Pettigrew is looking increasingly nervous.
Don't be scared now, pet. You had to know this was coming.
But I have been ever faithful to you, my lady.
Yes, you have, but I can't imagine that you would be immune to Theodora's influence, especially given that you've been in the company of your sire and all his ilk. I can't have you turning on me at the last possible moment.
Madam, I promise I would never do such a thing.
She cuts him off and grabs him by the throat. You have desecrated too many of my spaces, and I have grown tired of you. So I shall do you this final kindness. And she stabs him in the heart.
Miss Thanero, please scar your reflection.
I will.
And tell me how the reflection has changed.
The painting had sunlight and warmth about it, but I think simply that the sun vanishes from the painting and instead is replaced by rain-heavy clouds, mimicking the persistent weather that we've seen in London.
How did destroying Detective Inspector Pettigrew make you feel?
The destruction of Pettigrew leaves Ina feeling more resolute, having taken out a potential threat prior to what is coming tonight. So I think it bolsters her confidence in being able to handle whatever Theodora is going to throw at them.
All right. Because you have enacted Taketh Away by destroying a side character physically, you may choose 3 options from the list below. No roll necessary because Pettigrew was your servant.
I'm going to clear the condition even stone can be worn by time.
All right.
I'm going to take my next roll with advantage.
All right, I will make a note of that.
And now the final option.
Do you wish there to be no long-term consequences for your actions, or would you like a personal quarters item from Detective Inspector Pettigrew?
Knowing you, I think I have to take no long-term consequences for my actions. I've got plenty of personal quarters items at the moment. I think I will just say that murdering him is not going to cost me anything down the line.
All right.
J'accused.
Yeah, I have been called out. I was going to make a note of it, but I will delete it.
I'm sure you were.
Miss Douglas, once again you find yourself shoved into this small back room of Mr. Higgins' cobbler's shop. Boss, the little rat came back. And entering the room is Mr. Higgins, this time already brandishing the gun.
Hello. This shop is just looking really good since I was last here.
Well, isn't this a surprise?
Is it? I feel like not much surprises you.
So, I suppose you heard of our infiltration to your mansion tonight and decided to do a bit of reconnaissance?
Yep, pretty much.
Well, wouldn't I be quite the fool if I let you get away a second time? He clicks the pistol. Do you have any last words, Ms. Douglas?
Sure. Bye. Maisie drops into Curse of the Deep, as usual. Eyes roll over black, fingers elongate, teeth start to sharpen, and she runs full force at Mr. Higgins to try and slam into him.
Okay, night move, vitality. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
There is still a gun between me and him. I worry that he will shoot me with it.
Miss Douglas, it's worse than that. You will be killed and skinned, and your pelt will become a new pair of shoes for Theodora Brathwaite.
Brutal. I love it. I'm going to use my personal quarters item of a broken rib. Not in that I am physically using a broken rib, but that I am trying to inflict a broken rib.
I love it.
Come on, dice. Be nice to me, please. Oh. 6 plus 5 is 11 plus 2 is 13.
Oh my. Miss Douglas, for the second time, how do you ruin Mr. Higgins' day?
I love to do it. It's so good. I fully run at him, which I don't think is the response he was expecting, and I catch him off guard. And I just lean over and I throw one shoulder right into his chest in the hopes that my full body weight will snap a couple ribs and take him to the ground, wheezing and maybe unable to breathe.
You do so. He is sputtering on the ground. 2 members of the Black Laces, when you initially started fighting, started moving as if they were going to join in, but then seeing this carnage that this small feral girl has wrought has given them pause.
Maisie is standing over his wheezing body, just staring down at him, and then she looks up at the other 2 with these black, doll-like eyes, and she just smiles. Who's next?
Leave, witch. We want none of this.
I have something I need to do first. You have tools for sewing in here, do you not? She doesn't wait for a response. She just goes into the shop and starts looking for thread and needles, the most basic supplies to fix her pelt. One more time.
Yeah, on a 12 plus on this night move, you can absolutely repair a piece of your pelt using the tools from Mr. Higgins' cobbler shop.
I like the idea of finding more of this sparkling blue thread that Theodora gave me, like there being another spool of it in this shop and using it to fix the pelt.
I like it. Go ahead and check another box on Severed from the Sea.
Exciting.
Mr. Lloyd, deep within Hargrave House, how does the house itself speak to you?
The spirit of Hargrave House does not take physical form like the Lady Thames. It does not appear as a person in front of Rabbit. Its voice is like a whisper directly in his ear that booms like a thunderclap in his mind, because the house is all around him. While Hargrave House itself is fairly young, the spirit that inhabits it is ancient and suffused with magic. Hi, I'm sorry we haven't had the chance to talk until this moment. I am grateful for the shelter you've provided us, for the watch you've kept over us while we slept, for the space for companionship, for being our home, not just a house. And so it may seem strange that I ask you for one more thing, but unfortunately, there are men coming here to harm us, but also to destroy this house itself. So if you care for those who live within, or for the walls that surround them, I ask for your help in this moment.
Help you shall receive. Defend my threshold, and I will protect these walls, these stones, from intruders.
Thank you.
Please put down the clue, the help of Hargrave House. I think you just get that for free. No information move required, considering your very good ritual roll.
You have been a most polite and pleasant resident.
And you have been one of the nicest places on this earth where I have ever laid my head.
Miss Thanero, elsewhere in Hargrave House, there is a knock at the door.
Ina pulls on that gold cord at her shoulder just to be safe and pops out her spear and walks to the door and flings it open.
2 individuals stand before you, one of them Sister Charlotte McGowan, and the other the remaining Sendula sister.
I'm surprised you haven't fled this realm yet. She just ignores Sister Charlotte completely for the moment.
Where my lady is, so I shall be.
Loyalty is always appreciated.
Sister Charlotte is holding a large box in her hands, and the Sandula sister is wheeling in a tall piece of furniture that is covered with a fine silver cloth.
Ina moves out of the way to allow the Sandula sister to push this item in, assessing it for what it might be.
Careful, goddess. This object has great power. I dare say it would affect even you. Look cautiously. Know that what you see is merely an illusion.
And the Sandula sister gently lifts just a piece of the cloth that covers what you now realize is a very tall, very grand mirror. When you look into just a piece of the mirror, please describe Miss Ina Thanero's greatest fear.
When Ina glimpses a fragment of this mirror, what she sees is only water. Endless, overwhelming, drowning water. But as she looks through the murk, she can see the entirety of London is also underneath it.
Miss Thanero, you are lost in that vision for only a few seconds before the Sandula sister quickly covers the mirror back up with the cloth, breaking the illusion.
My lady hopes it will prove powerful against what threatens you.
Your mistress was very good to send this, and I am in her debt.
She knows.
As she should.
Mr. Hutchinson, you come to on a plush, very expensive oriental rug in a lavishly decorated salon, most of it in the signature color of sapphire blue.
I wonder where I could be.
Good. You're awake.
You turn and see Theodora Brathwaite in a tea gown standing behind you. With a small, quick snap of her fingers, 2 footmen help you to a sitting position in front of a tea set, and Theodora Brathwaite sits opposite you.
I prefer coffee.
Of course.
Theodora Brathwaite smiles and motions for her footman to bring out cups of coffee.
I myself prefer something a bit stronger.
And she pulls out a flask, pours a bit into her cup, and offers some to you as well.
No sense drinking alone. And I accept the booze.
The sandwiches and little cakes in front of you, most are of the typical kind, cucumber, salmon. But there are several petit four and sandwiches that are just raw meat.
You didn't have to go through all the trouble for little old me.
Ah, well, I thought it was best to put you in a favorable mood before you and I talk.
Before I sip the booze in this coffee, I gotta give it the poison check. I gotta just make sure this isn't the last conversation I ever have.
You smell it. It smells fine. And Theodora, clocking that you are pausing, sips from her cup and then reaches over the table, grabs yours, and sips yours as well.
We both know that don't prove nothing, but I appreciate the gesture.
Well, Mr. Hutchinson, shall we get to it?
Time is money.
Indeed. I have brought you here because I have an offer for you. You and I both know that you are not long for this world. Whether by your own hand, mine, or those of your fellow hunters, the rabid dog will no doubt be put down shortly. I would propose that you put your last days to good use and work for me, Unstopper the Bottle.
What's your definition of good? Something tells me priests would find it lacking.
Sir, I speak not of the work you would do for me, for indeed it would be quite wicked and bloody. No, I speak of the good you could do for others. One other.
Little late in the game to be coy, Brathwaite.
Your daughter. She's very smart, you know. Must have inherited that from your late wife.
So we do agree on one thing at least.
Her anger, though, that she gets from you, I surmise. Not that I can blame the poor child. She deserves so much more than the kind of life that Savannah offers her. Deserves more than the cruelty of her grandparents.
She deserves more than you or anybody else on this green earth could give her.
I'm not so sure of that. Mr. Hutchinson, if you work for me, I promise you, Miss Andromeda will find herself the sole beneficiary of a tidy sum of money. More than she could ever spend in a lifetime. More than any future children she may have could ever spend in their lifetimes. I would see to it that she is granted the finest education anywhere she chooses, in America or in any of the capitals of Europe. Your girl would want for nothing. She would have every door opened to her, every opportunity available for her. She would have the means to make any life for herself that she wanted. All of this I would do anonymously. You pledge yourself to me. Leave Hargrave House behind, and I will send a telegram to my man in America and get your daughter out of your family manse this very day.
It's a very tempting offer. I never gave that girl nothing, and I owe her everything. I assume you would have me 86 my compatriots.
I would simply have you unleash the monster. If I happen to point you in their direction, so be it.
Well, you and I have a common goal in that. See, I already have one employer with whom I've struck an irrevocable contract, and Ina Thanero is his target. So as a stipulation to this contract, you'd have to point me there first.
Very well.
Second, Maisie Douglas is not to be harmed. She can be incapacitated. You can do what you need to in Hargrave. You can ship her tail back to Scotland. But she will remain alive and well. And I think a tidy sum of money would see her good as well.
Very well, Mr. Hutchinson.
Thirdly and lastly, he grins wide. For no other reason than I think you'd be settling a bet. I'd like some guarantee that my daughter is your sole beneficiary, and you will give me both of your children. And in exchange, there'll be nothing standing between you and the time you so crave.
Theodora Brathwaite barely looks up from her cucumber sandwich and simply shrugs.
Fine. I have no love for Tati. While she is my heir, she is exceedingly stupid.
I hold my good hand up, spit in my hand, and hold it out for her to shake.
She pauses and regards you, assessing whether or not this proffered hand is a trap.
Come now. Neither of us can trust one another. The least we can do is put on a good show.
She shakes your hand.
I spit in my palm again, hold it out more rigidly. You didn't spit in yours. If we're to have an accord, we have to do it on my terms.
Too right.
And summoning some of that pirate swagger that she wore so well in her youth, she spits in her palm and shakes your hand.
Hargrave better batten down the hatches.
Mr. Hutchinson, please take the condition. The servant of Theodora Brathwaite. Welcome to the Dusk. A mid-episode Dusk phase.
Wow. Yike. Don't laugh.
So a lot just happened. Ordinarily, the first thing we do in the Dusk phase is roll moves that are rolled in the dusk, but Mr. Hutchinson, I don't quite know if you're a hunter of Hargrave House anymore.
If I may, I am a hunter of Hargrave House. I'm just not a hunter of Hargrave House.
Wow, all right.
Very fair. So, I suppose the question is up to you. Are we rolling the quickening tonight, or are we just...
I think we better had.
All right, so let's roll the quickening. I am going to put this at disadvantage because you are a servant of Theodora Brathwaite, and she wants you very much to go feral.
After tea, Hutchinson is taken to a room in Brathwaite's apartment, which is filled with a smattering of garments, and he decides to play a little dress up as he waits for the sun to set and the assault to begin. As we see him now, he's staring out the window, watching the light fade behind the clouds. darkness dress in its sables. He is dressed in sapphire, a naval officer's coat with gilded epaulets. His hook has been properly affixed with sapphire ribbon and is on, no longer askew. He has replaced his father's silk handkerchief with a proper sapphire blue eye patch, and he wears an enormous captain's hat, replete with feather, a peacock feather. And as he stands, decked in pirate garb, he withdraws and looks at Vera Hale's face. The first consequence of his time here in London and his actions or inactions. And I will be rolling this flat. All right. I can't find my usual dice, so I'm using my general advantage die and a die I have never rolled before.
Oh boy, wow.
Sensitivity or composure?
You know what? Let's really amp the stakes up. I'm going to be making this with composure, which is a +0. This is a flat roll. I am letting the dice decide whether I transform or no. 4 + 1 is 5.
On a fail, you're going to lose control.
Retire this character and tell the keeper to put the cursed into play.
Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join our roommates at Hargrave House, our Kitten Marlowe patrons, in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.